Hello guys and welcome. It's Engineering Rebel, and in this video I'm going to be restoring this rusty Briggs and Stratton engine back to its former glory. So let's begin. The first couple of pieces that I'm going to remove include this magneto cover, the entire air filter housing, the fuel tank, along with the carburetor and fuel delivery system, as well as this little piece that's holding this throttle lever in place. This is what's come off so far, and I've also put my bolts into groups so they don't get lost. The next things that I have to remove include the rest of the parts for the magneto, the heat shield, the head along with its gasket, the spark plug, the intake, the muffler, and the crankcase cover. Man, that was a lot of fun, and here are all the parts that have come off so far. So a lot of these parts are going to get sandblasted, painted, and refinished. Some of the parts that cannot be reused, I've bought new ones. So all that's left to remove is the cam gear, the camshaft with its lifters, valve springs, valves, valve guides, the crankshaft itself, the magneto, and I also have to disconnect the entire piston assembly from the crankshaft. So I have to remove this connecting rod cap screws. There's two of them, and then this connecting rod cap should come off and the piston should disconnect from the crankshaft. So the entire engine has been taken apart. All the pieces are laid out. So now what I have to do is I have to wash the engine block along with some other pieces and to get all the parts cleaned and washed. far, I've cleaned all the exterior parts as well as the interior parts. I went ahead and also sandblasted all of the exterior parts. As you guys can see, all the imperfections are removed. Now, those are just water spots after I washed the parts, but it's looking pretty good. As for the interior parts, I resurfaced them using sandpaper. So like these metal edges on the crankshaft were all rusted, so I went ahead and sanded them, and look how much better they look now. No more rust. And I also went ahead and cleaned some of the other parts using a brush. I also redid the cylinder wall using that sanding tool. I attached it to a drill and used some WD-40, and the cylinder walls are looking pretty good. And yeah, I have to admit, all the parts are looking pretty nice. Now all that's left to do is to paint the parts, and after I'm done painting them and wiping them down, I could pretty much assemble them and my engine should be ready to go. Wow. Just wow. This is by far one of the most craziest restoration projects I've ever done, and I have to admit it came out pretty good. A lot of time and effort was spent on this engine, and I am absolutely grateful for the results. I think it looks awesome. The only thing left to do, and I'm sure you guys know what's next, is to see if it'll run. So let's start it up, and before I start it, I put this cable here to make the throttle adjusting easier rather than reaching all the way over here, which can be quite difficult. So let's start it up.